Hey, how you doing? Pat here. Time to install the Hex EzCan here on my 2023 GSA. It is time for another How I Did It video. Alright, the first step we're going to do is obviously remove the seat and all that. The reason the front seat is still here is I cannot get that connector to come loose for the heated seat option, and I'm afraid of breaking it, so I'm just going to work around it, be brutally honest. Tools you're going to need is basically just a T40, but I also need a 6mm Allen because this is an aftermarket bracket for my TriplTek trunk. If you have the BMW OEM one, everything is Torx. So I do have Loctite on these, and so did BMW, so they are just a little bit firm to come out. And once I get all these bolts out and this rack off, at least I think I have to take it off. We're trying to pull this panel off to make routing the wire way easier. I will come back. There's no sense me just filming removing these bolts. I think you kind of get the point already. Okay, just to repeat what I've said in a few other videos, especially on these BMWs, pay attention to the bolts as you take them out, because just because these two are the same don't mean these two will be. I guess I got to get another tool to get that out. But let's see the first three. You can see they had a little Loctite on these bolts also. And lo and behold, look at that. The front one is in fact way longer than the rear too. So that's always a good thing to remember. And it's a good idea if you can find a way to lay your bolts out as you take them apart, as they go back in to help you remember. Or do what I do and take pictures and videos. That kind of helps too. You also need to take the bolt out from each side like this. Now, you absolutely don't have to remove this, but it is way easier to feed the wire down through here. I've done this once before without removing that. It is doable, but it's very, very difficult. I think in the grand scheme of things, this is the least amount of work. On my 2019, there was the RDC sensor here. Evidently, they have moved it based on the research I have done to where I don't know. But my understanding is we can still use this, and we will know later in the video whether that's true or not. It just has a dust cover on it. I empty my hand. We'll take the dust cover off. And then we will plug, if I can find the right connector here. I know it'll have good light, but it should be keyed to where it can only go back together one way. Alright, that is in there, and because we're not plugging into something else, we can just put this dust cover right back in, and then go ahead, and I will come back later and go ahead and tie it back down there where it was. So now, at this point, our Hex EzCan is now plugged into the CAN bus. I am going to affix this, get my heated seat cable out of the way. In this general vicinity, like I did on my last motorcycle, then I can wire the power wire, which I've already taken the fuse out because being able to have this cap off does make it easier at times to slide the wire through different places. I'm also wiring in this pigtail just so I have a place to plug in my air compressor in case I ever need it on the road. I don't use this for maintaining the battery. I have an Optimate, and I use BMW's DIN connector to actually maintain my battery. I don't know if this is gonna fit. I'm using a T30. I think what I'm gonna have to do is pop this basket up a little bit to give me room for the wires, because right now I've been messing with it off camera, trying to figure out the best path so I can come back and show you. And so far I haven't come up with a good path. I don't remember having to do this on my 2019, but that was a long time ago. So notice a shoulder on those little boogers. Okay, that helped a little bit. What that did, and be careful because the way I did it, you can break this tab, is I ran it down on this side of it, was able to kind of get it to go through and under, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then I was able to pick this tab up like that a little bit, work the wire back around to get it back down in the groove and get it to go back into this hole where I wanted it to go, which is the same hole that I want to put my pigtail back through. And then I can keep my pigtail up here. Then I can wrap it back around here like I did just a minute ago. And then off camera I will come back and wire tie everything neatly. But so then I can go ahead and have my pigtail here for my air compressor, or anybody else's air compressor, or I happen to need a power outlet for whatever reason I can't even think of right now. I'm sorry for my lighting, I know it sucks, but we want to remove the negative terminal first. It reduces the chance of being able to spark anything when you're messing with the batteries. This is a 10 mil, by the way. And that connector wasn't overly tight, and I know that seems to be a common complaint amongst BMW owners, is weird electrical problems, and sometimes it goes back to just a loose battery terminal. It does have washers, flat and lock, so make sure you don't lose those. Then over here is our positive terminal that we can attach to, and make sure you put the insulating cap back on just to prevent any problems. And that looks like it is a Torx, but I'm gonna have to get a little bit of light on that. Wait a minute, do I have my flashlight with me? I do. All right, let's get a little light on that. Yes, it is a Torx. I will come back when I figure out what it is, but while we're here, this is also your OBD2 port, to where if you have a GS911, or when the dealership needs to talk to the bike, that's the part that you use. All right, I'll be back here in a bit. Okay, this seems to be a T30 also. I don't know if you saw that, but that took no effort to break free. I remember on my other BMW, I ended up taking the battery out, which I'm gonna do that off camera, I think, and just check the positive terminal, make sure it's tight. All right, as we get the wire out, so it is just a nut like so. It's definitely different. With this particular setup, red is positive, orange is positive, which I'm kind of used to the red being positive, but not orange. I'm used to either red or brown being positive, and I'm used to black or blue being negative. So this is definitely different than what I'm used to. Hopefully this shows up. It comes with a 30 amp fuse. Gonna go ahead and reinstall it right now that I've got the positive wire put on. And it is really tight in there. I had to use needle nose pliers just to get it out. If you're gonna use this, or even if you're gonna use this and or the Denali for something really mission critical while you're out touring, I would really recommend you take another fuse just in case. Okay. You can see here, I've got everything tucked up under that, and I've tried to get everything tucked back in as far as I can, just to keep it out of the way of everything. I think I'm happy with that, but I'm not certain yet. I'm thinking I might like to have him. Yeah, I think I like that better. I'm not sure I'm happy with this guy yet, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it alone for right now. Gives me access to my fuse fairly easily if I need it. I've got him tight, I've got him tight. You can see I wrap my wires up under there. They go back up under here, then they come back out up here. Let me move you for a little bit. and then I will come back when I have all that tidied up. Okay, you can see here I have a green flashing light, which that cover right here is how you program it, and we're going to get to that here in a minute. So we have power to the unit. Okay, I have the temporary installation in. I have some things tied up here. This came with some Velcro. I'm not going to use it, but I am going to end up eventually putting some double-sided tape here, because for me this is going to be a set it and forget it thing. What I'm going to use this for is I have something they don't make anymore, which is a garage door opener called Flash to Pass. And because you can't tie into BMW's electrical system like you can the old bikes, I use it for this, and I'm also going to use it for some extra USB outlets for my camera setup. Alright, let's get this put back together. Okay, obviously the first thing you're going to need to do is go online and download the software for the Hex EzCan, install it on your computer. You'll be prompted here to register your unit and update all the software, which is a must before you can actually go in and configure your new Hex EzCan to work the way you need it to work. Registration and all that is pretty easy, just follow the prompts. Once we have the software installed, this is where it kind of gets to be a little individual based on what your needs are. Your needs are probably going to be different than mine. Basically, all I am running with my Hex EzCan is my Flash to Pass, which is a garage door opener, and an auxiliary USB port. Here we are, just scrolling through the software, showing you a little bit of the setup of what's going inside. There's the accessory port that I'm going to use for my USB. Up here, you can click on the different things and you can set the actual amperage of the particular outlet to whatever you need it to be. You'll need to decide how you need to set this up for yourself based on your application. Alright, I think I'm going to close it out here as we just scroll through the menu. If you would, please give me a thumbs up if you got something out of this. If you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. I hope this helped a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.